So I bought a carport on Temu. How bad can it be? So I've been searching Marketplace for a single bay carport for well over a year now. Everything I find is just either too expensive or in kind of bad, rough shape. And if it is affordable, I would have to tear it down, transport it, and then rebuild it all over again. Not fun. Or pay a monthly payment for a really nice one. Then I stumbled onto Temu. I won't lie, prices are very tempting. I know Temu doesn't have the best reputation, but I have also heard of a lot of people getting lucky. These are just boxes of steel with roof panels on it. How bad could it really be? So I bit the bullet, found one I liked, and I bought it. Let's see what we got. Considering this thing was $600 shipped to my door, these three boxes are really heavy. Good thing I was there to help the UPS guy unload it off the truck. Well, it has instructions, so that's a good start. But sorry, Twix, no pets allowed. Hey, I got everything mostly unboxed. Let's kind of see what all we got here. And I guess everything's though. Haven't really counted it all. The instructions seem easy enough in English, so that's definitely a plus in the right direction. So the reason I bought that carport is, first world problems. I got more cars than covered space. We have enough concrete pads, but not enough covered. In that spot, the trees like to throw a lot of sap, a lot of acorns, and just whatever car is there, it just gets nasty.
That's nasty.
Like we've tried putting that little overhang shade thing over, it helps a little bit, but the cars still get pretty nasty. So let's put it together and see how it goes. So I won't bore you with a full build video on step by step, because that would be long and tedious.
A few moments later.
Well, I didn't make it very far until I ran into a major issue. See, the major pieces are all connected with these adapters, the G pieces. And the C piece, this piece, is supposed to have 2 holes on each end for these guys. But all the C pieces only have 1 hole on one of the sides. So they don't fit. Not only does that hole not fit, there's no holes. And I've doubled, quadrupled, checked all my poles, make sure I'm using the right ones, and checked my instructions 100 times, and I'm using the right stuff. I know what I'm doing. And it just doesn't work. Like, I make it work, but I'd have to drill these poles, the C poles, which there's 10 of them, and each pole needs 4 holes. So it's like 40 holes I have to drill.
5 minutes later.
Okay, crisis aborted. I think I figured it out. So this is the H-bar, which is the ones that go up and down. I think they have them mislabeled. I think that's really the C-bar, so these two are just mixed up. But this one's a lot shorter than that bar. So yeah, so hopefully it's just those two being mixed around. Okay, I got 1 arch down, 4 more to go. And a tip while you're doing this, get all your bolts screwed in hand tight first. Just kind of run them in. That way these pieces are all lined up on both sides, top and bottom, before tightening them all the way down. And make sure you have a ratchet with a bit. Doing this all by hand with an Allen wrench would take all day. All the arches are done, I'm starting to do the crossover pieces, which is a little bit harder because I'm only one person. So I have this side bolted down, but the opposite side is only kind of a few threads in. But I gotta move the whole thing this way. Then kind of juggle all the rest of them together. Good news, I got it turned around, no problem. Bad news, it's a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be.
That's what she said?
Most cases, I wouldn't complain about something being bigger than what I paid for. But this is supposed to be 12 by 20. That's 14 and a half. Which is a lot more than what I measured for. I measured for 12, which is right there at the grass line. That's where I wanted it. Which 14 puts it where the trailer is and also where that stump wood stuff is. Which wouldn't be a big deal because I was planning on removing that stump and stuff anyway. I just kind of been putting it off for years. But now I definitely have to remove it before I finish this project. And also the trailer is going to have to move. It's going to have to go that way, which is the other tree in the way. So I might have to cut that tree down. And maybe those other ones too.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
But starting to lose daylight, so I'm going to clean up. And tomorrow, I guess, I'll pour out the chainsaw.
Day 2.
Hey, it's the next day. This morning I've been focusing on this trees and tree stumps. I was able to get that stump pulled out and chop this one halfway down, but I wasn't able to finish because my chainsaw decided not to cooperate. So yeah, hopefully I got chopped down enough and out of the way where it does clear. It will be close, but I'm going to continue on because that's what we're here for. I got these two arches together. I just have to continue that way with the other three. Pretty simple process. Hey, I got the main framing all together, starting to look like something. It's not the most straightest thing in the world, but I'm hoping once I get everything together, I can adjust things. Right now, I'm working on these supports that go across this way. I'll say that these are very important because it improves the structural integrity of the bins here and there. There are some of these kits that don't have these supports. Those are the ones you want to avoid because I have seen some pretty bad reviews on those. And under like a snowstorm and there's a lot of weight that gets put on it, this is where it's going to bend, more likely on the corner. So it's good to have these supports. And speaking of those supports, the corner ones are supposed to go to this hole that has nothing in it, to down here. I don't think that's going to fit. But what I'm hoping is once I put the bottom legs on, these guys, that it will reach the top of that bottom pole. Eyeballing it, it looked like it should make it there. If that's the case, then cool, that's fine, it works. But we won't know until we get to that part. So per the instructions, it wants you to do the feet, the vertical post next. But I'm going to veer off a little bit from the instructions and do at least the top portion of the roof, the peak. I think it'd be a lot easier to do it now while it's like my level and I can do and see everything. And it's probably one of the most difficult parts of the build probably, is getting all the roof tiles aligned and correctly and sealed off. So I'll do that first. I got most of the top portion panels on. It's kind of a pain in the butt. You gotta definitely pay attention on the orientations they go on and how they lap and where you put the tape, but it's getting there. But now I get to the hard part of lifting this thing. So the idea is to lift it up, put this in on those 2 trash cans. That way I can put the legs in and do the other side. Hey, I can stand under it now without banging my head. Which I did bang my head really hard on it one time. Yeah, it was a little awkward getting up. It's not too heavy for 2 people, not that bad. It's just, it flexed a lot. And doing that flexing, 2 of these supports snapped.
Oh, idiot.
Just tiny shitty welds snapped on that one. And I think it was this one. I don't know. I think it's that one. So yeah, it's very unfortunate. I guess I do have a welder, and after I get everything done and situated, I might clean it up and see if I can weld that back up. And also, these did fit like how I thought they would by going to the bottom poles. So that ended up working out. It's definitely not like that in the instructions. I still have to do all the other diagonal braces. Haven't done that yet because I've been working on the feet. I got that side done. I'm in the middle of putting that side together. I wanted to go ahead and get that done before I lose sunlight. If it's not one thing, it's another. I got the feet on that side. It was not too bad. Just had to lift it up and slot it in. Pretty easy. But now the next dilemma is I can't put the bottom one on that side until I scoot it over all the way. Now I can't scoot it all the way until I finish the roof, because part of the roof is on the side and I want to be able to drill into the siding.
Day 3.
Hey, it is the next day. I did most of this side yesterday, last night, and this morning. Got up pretty early and busted the other side out. Not super hard, it's just very, very time consuming putting all those panels on. Definitely takes a while, but we did kind of running a little weird issue is with when you're laying these panels out. See, the instructions have you do this. See how this one overlaps this one by a whole, I don't know what they're called, a whole runnel, I'll call it, a whole runnel on all of these. But if you do that, the way the book says it, it stops here. Now you can see, it shows it going over the edge. Actually, I won't even go that far, because on the last one, because I started noticing that, I did just the tip. And on that one, just to get it to the edge. Which I recognized it very late. I'd already spent a lot of hours doing all the panels, because you have to do it in a certain order. By the time I got to the end, it was like, either going to have to start mostly over or leave it. So I chose to leave it because it's actually kind of convenient for me this way, since it bumps up against this carport. All the rain and leaves and debris is going to come down this side, and now it has a better place for it to go. I'll probably gonna put a gutter or something in between here to catch all that stuff and run it towards the back. So that's fine, it's convenient. The other side, I ignored the instructions and I did just the tips.
I'll have to ask my accountant about that.
On all of them, and it kind of came out where it's supposed to be, all the way down the side. So you kind of have to loosely follow the instructions to get what you want. And other thing I don't think I mentioned is where these go into this do not have pre-drilled holes. The top 2 have drilled holes at the very top, but that's it. The rest of them you gotta just drill into this. And since this thing isn't the straightest thing in the world, they kind of don't, these holes don't all end up lining up. So just get it as straight as possible, make your own hole. There's a bunch of places where I had to make my own hole and put a piece of that tape underneath here. That way water isn't going into the hole and seeping inside. Hey, guess what? I'm all done. Carport's together, and I must say, I like it. I like the way it came out. Even though it's cheap, it's doing its job really well. I've had it done for a few days now, so I've had the chance to test it out. Unfortunately, it's only rained one good time in the past week, so I haven't had the chance to test a lot of rain. But I have had a good time testing all the leaves and the breeze have been falling on this and not the cars. So that's what I want. And even though I ordered the 12-footer, this is another happy accident on top of other happy accidents because I could put 2 cars in it. It's not the most ideal to do regularly because it is a tight fit. I do have more room than I thought I would with these 2 cars because they're small. But at least I know if I have to store 2 cars in case of, you know, a storm, winter, snow, hail, that sort of thing, at least I know I can. So some of the things I've done off camera, I've added power. I ran a outlet, 2-plug outlet out here, so I can use a vacuum or whatever else I need out here. Also, I can run lights. I have more lights on the way. I can't just have the one, which does its job. I've tried these solar ones. They're in a shitty spot. I'm gonna have to change those out and find a different solution to that. I have this mounted to the carport. I couldn't really mount it to the concrete because this is very brittle and just gonna break up and not do very well. So yeah, I have it mounted to the carport. I have more on the way so I can do the other 2. And this side, I have it on wood, some wood blocks. Wood-wise, I did use what I already had laying around, and this worked out pretty good. It's still very low on this end. I definitely need some more dirt or gravel or something to kind of fill this area in because it's kind of leaning. Yes, ideally, I want to fill this whole kind of inside with gravel, but that's gonna have to wait because the government's still shut down, so I'm still not working, so gotta stay in budget. So that will come later. I did weld those braces, those 3 spots I had to re-weld over here, which that outlet came in handy for that. It does come with this rubber trimming on the edge. On a few spots, I drilled a hole and I put a zip tie on a few of them. That way this doesn't come flying off. Still need to buy gutters for this side. I did have to chop down 2 trees, so I'm gonna have to burn all that. And those stumps were a big pain in the ass to get out. I do plan on cutting that tree down as well. So I do want to limit things falling on it because it's kind of thin. It's not the most strongest roofing, so I don't kind of avoid any type of acorns, big limbs, or anything falling on it because it might puncture it. I say that because this car was sitting over there for a good while and there's a big crack in the windshield. We're not 100% positive where that came from. I'm not sure if something fell out of a tree and did that. So there's a lot of little things I can improve and plan on improving, but you guys probably don't care about that stuff. You probably care about what I think about the Carport itself. For the price, yeah, I was a little skeptical buying it off Temu, but for $600, this is great. It's doing exactly what I needed to do, what I wanted it to do. Yeah, there were some hiccups on building it. The instructions don't match the product very well. But if you're a kind of do-it-yourselfer, DIYer, good at tools, good at figuring things out, then this is fine. If you're on the older side and you just want something done to work, you're probably better off on having somebody put one up anyway. Originally, I considered building something similar to this. I built this last summer. Not too bad, not too hard, came out great. But material-wise, that cost me roughly $800-ish. And I need one of those literally twice the size, if not more. So doing that over here would probably cost me more than twice as much if I had to guess. You know, so $1,600 above. So I figured $600 bucks. I figured the material would have been worth it alone. if there was issues or was kind of janky, I had the know-how to fix it, make it work for my needs. So this material alone, it was worth the price. Another benefit is if I move, I can take this with me. Just tear it back down, put it back up. Even though I really hate to do that. It's kind of a long process. It did take me 3 days to build it. I'd say it was worth it. I'd do it again. Don't the cars look so much happier now? My wife said, well, the other fit would be here. The other fit. The only thing that's left out in the rain is the van, which that's huge, it's big. It does fit under this, but it's fine. Okay, I'll stop boring you guys. So what do you guys think? Think this was a good deal, or should I paid more? What would you have bought? Also, leave it in the comments if you think I should buy something else from Temu and try it out and see what I think. Do some cheap stuff reviews. And if you want, I can come back in a year and do another review and see how it's holding up. So you might want to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.